And the field condition, however, is in perfect condition. At Biles, they cover this with a tarp, and it's just fast and dry.
Field's in perfect condition, Jim. Should not be a factor unless it rains some more.
They're the officiating crew from the Collegiate Independent Football Association and the Western Athletic Conference, with Vincent Price, the referee, and he'll be assisted by those gentlemen: Eugene Agnes, Stanford Rivers, Vincent Arroyo, John Tierney, and Ken Flaherty. And we'll be having the toss of the coin momentarily. That's Notre Dame, and they're going back to that old traditional uniform worn here in the era of Ara Parsegian. And in this series, which was dominated back in those days by Notre Dame, they won the first 11. However, Air Force has roared back to take the last two games, and that's quite a proud moment for the Air Force football history to claim a two-game winning streak over Notre Dame. But here's Notre Dame wearing their blue jerseys, the gold pants, the gold headgear. They've done away with the stripes there that they have started with here. That's what Notre Dame did here last year. Over 500 yards total offense, but had the misfortune of having what would have been a winning field goal blocked in the last play of the game.
Unimportant. They lost the game, Jim, and that's all the Air Force Academy cared for. They won the last two games in this series.
They certainly are. There's Bob Golick's brother, as you see, number 55, Mike Golick, one of the co-captains, and the other co-captains out for the Air Force. We'll have the toss of the coin.
Jim, look at that rushing stat for the Falcons. Look at that rushing stat there. They're averaging 333 yards a game. Second in the nation out of that wishbone offense. Should be very interesting.
Well, second only to the Army team that also runs the wishbone. So maybe that says something about the old wishbone attack that some thought had been wished away. Now here's the official and the toss.
Edge is called. Fields it is.
Notre Dame wins.
Defer. All right. He's won and deferred until the second half. You want the ball? Put it back up this side.
Well, as usual, Jim, the team that wins the toss always defers it now with this new ruling. They get their choice, so they want the ball to start the second half.
I know as a coach you like that rule.
No question. Well, you like to have the ball to start the second half, because if you're behind, you tell your team at halftime, we come out, we can get some momentum, we can do things. If you're ahead, you're telling your club, if we come out, we can drive the nail in the coffin. So normally when you start the game, you don't see too much happen that first or second series.
Here's Air Force. They've won 4 and lost 2 so far. They're 4th in the nation in kickoff returns. They have one of the great kicking teams in the country statistic-wise this year. Their great kick returner, of course, is Scott Thomas, who's averaging 34 yards a kickoff return. Here come the Irish of Notre Dame out in the stadium here in Notre Dame, Indiana. As we told you, a crowd of over 59,000 on hand for the game. And there's Jerry Faust, who's been under a little bit of pressure as far as the fans are concerned. The administration here say they're solidly behind him. And there's Fisher DeBerry. In his first year as a head coach, he was an offensive coordinator for Ken Hatfield at the Air Force the last 3 seasons. He learned an awful lot about the wishbone from Jim Brakefield, his old coach at Appalachian State University down in North Carolina. So DeBerry is here today with one of the liveliest offenses in the country.
Well, he really was interesting. Here's the total offense now. Air Force, 424 yards per game. Notre Dame, 305 yards per game. So Air Force has Air Force rushing now. We talked about Air Force, but Notre Dame, 119 yards. That's the lowest ever in the history of Notre Dame football since they've been taking NCAA stats. Their rushing total, lowest ever, Jim.
Air Force has done well at home. There's the total defense. You see that Air Force has held its opponents under 300 yards a game. Probably Notre Dame played a little bit tougher opponents this year. Air Force has won all its games at home. They beat San Diego State, Northern Colorado, when they score the highest total that's been scored in college football this year, 75 points in Division I. And they also defeated Colorado State and Navy, a 2-game winning streak they have coming into this game, and lost their 2 road games at Wyoming and Utah. So they'll be challenged here by Notre Dame today to try and win the first game away from home. Notre Dame are trying to bounce back after losing to the defending national champion Miami Hurricanes a week ago in the rain here, a game you saw on ESPN. They lost that one 31-13. They lost their opener to Purdue, which happens frequently in that series, as the followers of Midwestern football know. But in between, they had 3 straight wins at Michigan State, Colorado, and at Missouri. So Notre Dame will be trying to bounce back today. A very key game for them, a big game for Air Force. I expect nothing but excitement in this one, Ed Biles.
Well, it's a key game for both ball clubs. Air Force with a chance for the win in the bowl picture. Notre Dame needing a win badly. Jerry Faust needing a win badly, especially against Air Force. This should be a good one. Looking forward to seeing the wishbone that we don't see too often anymore.
John Carney, a sophomore from Centerville, Ohio, will kick off for Notre Dame. He was a walk-on here. Waiting Scott Thomas, the great returner. corner. They're going to go to the other guy, Rotello, deep in the end zone. He'll down it right there. So Air Force will come out to start its offense at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. And we'll see the wishbone option attack here. Bart Weiss, a junior who took over 2.5 games ago when Brian Knorr, the starting quarterback for the Air Force, went down. But Weiss has been so solid. Knorr's going to have to win back his job. There's Bart, number 4, a junior from Naples, Florida. He has passed for 188 yards, but he has rushed for 242 yards and scored 5 touchdowns. He'll have Greg Pashusniak and Pat Evans and Jody Simmons in the backfield as the running back. Simmons the left halfback, Pashusniak the right half on this play. They give it to the fullback. Nope, it's a pitch out the other side. And turning the corner over there is Pashusniak, and run out of bounds after a gain of about 3 or 4 by Joe Johnson, the strong safety of Notre Dame.
They really did a good job with that wishbone, Jim. They had you fooled on that first play. Stuck it in that fullback, into the fullback, brought it out, and that's what you're going to see all day long. He runs everything off the option basis. He may give it to that fullback or he may bring it out. They don't know as they line up what he's going to do.
Tom Coleman comes in with the play as the wide receiver. Weiss now looking at 2nd down and 7 from his own 23-yard line. This time it's a rollout keep, and Weiss going to keep the ball. Needs one block here to turn the corner. Got the 1st down. 35-yard line he goes. Nifty game by Bart Weiss. It was a run all the way. Good block by Jody Simmons. Really sprung him as he turned the corner. There's the offensive back with Weiss, Evans, Pashusniak, as we told you, and Jody Simmons. That's a powerful running backfield, and they've divided the inside the receivers rather. Ken Carpenter, who's the son of the great Lonely Ale of Army fame, and Hugh Brennan is the tight end. Interior linemen, Craig Abenson, Fred Buttrell, Don Oberdick, Mark Melcher, and Dave Sutton. They'll give away some pounds here to this bigger Notre Dame team. But Air Force has a 1st down. And here's the pitch out again. Going on the left side is Pashusniak. Gets around the corner over the 40, 45. And Air Force is rolling with this wishbone attack. And again, it was Simmons who sprung a good block that time for Pashusniak, and Troy Wilson got him from the strong cornerback post.
Well, Notre Dame looks like they're trying to take the quarterback. Here's the replay where they're trying to take the fullback and the quarterback away, but they're letting the pitch away. See the inside. You see him converge, take that away, come down, take the quarterback. But he makes a pitch. Now there's no force person out there to make that play. They're going to have to make an adjustment early. Otherwise, they'll pitch it out all day long, Jim.
Notre Dame seemed to tend on those first early plays, Ed, to be trying to stop the fullback and the quarterback. And they've been pitching it out to that trailing man, and it's been working for them. Now they come to the right side. They give it to the fullback, Evans, on a slant on the inside belly play to the 50-yard line. Hit down by John McCabe, an inside linebacker for Notre Dame. A pick of about 3. Defensively, Notre Dame a 3-man line. Gann, Griffin, and Klein. They've got some injuries this Notre Dame team has, and some key players who will be out for this game. Look out for Mike Gann. There are the linebackers. Mike Kovaleski's playing with an injured hand today. Mike Golick, a great one. McCabe and Kovaleski inside. Banks and Golick on the outside. And the deep backs. Hawatha Francisco's been converted now to the backfield. Pat Ballage, Troy Wilson Johnson, all outstanding deep defenders. Now the little counter play goes to Simmons. He tries to get behind his own left guard, and Wade Klein, 278 pounds, 6'9". Notre Dame's defensive right tackle was there to stop him after a short game. And Air Force faces a 3rd down play here as they go into Notre Dame territory for the first time.
Well, so far they've had great success running the option where they bring it out and make the option pitch to the outside. Be interesting to see where they come back with that play on 3rd down.
3rd and 4. We'll see if they go to the air here also. Tom Coleman's the wide receiver on the right side, a senior. They got the full house backfield. Notre Dame with a 5-man front. And they give it to the fullback Evans. He will not get the 1st down. Evans tries the middle, and Klein again was the first man to meet him. Gets just inside the 45. And I wonder if Air Force might go for it here on 4th and 1.
Well, it was an interesting call. Talking to Fisher DeBerry yesterday, Jim, he told us that they did a lot of audible at the line of scrimmage. Appeared the quarterback saw something in that front that he wanted to change around.
Here comes the punting team. So Mark Simon, the sophomore from Whitewater, Wisconsin, will be in the punt. Notre Dame, Troy Wilson is going to go back deep as the receiver, and a beautifully high kick. This was great hang time. Fair catch called for, and taken by Wilson inside the 10. So Air Force bottles Notre Dame up inside its own 10-yard line, but the Fighting Irish now will get the ball for the first time. And here comes Scott Grooms, the biggest moment of his college football career, a senior from Greenfield, Ohio, who came here as a freshman with Kiel, left school, went to Miami, Ohio, then transferred back to Notre Dame. And last week when Steve Berline season, went down with an injured shoulder. Grooms, right here, number 10, 197-pounder, who's thrown only 3 passes all year, got his chance. So Notre Dame gets the ball. No score, first period from Notre Dame. On 9-yard line, inside to the fullback, Chris Smith, and not much happening, but he gets it out over the 10-yard line, stacked up around the 12. Chris Funk, one of the stars last year as Air Force One, hit on the play. Grooms has Alan Pinkett, who started the season as a Heisman Trophy candidate, and Chris Smith in the backfield with him, Pinkett at tailback. The receivers, little Joe Howard, who's been quite a story here with his basketball play, Mark Bavaro at tight end, Jackson. There's the offensive line. They outweigh the Air Force 40 to 50 pounds per man. So it's a big advantage. Second down, about 8 yards to go. The pitch to Pinkett, cutting to the left side, and he runs into a host of from Waterloo, Iowa, number 60. And there's the defensive line. DeRuiter and Ziegler at the ends, Funk and Nicholas on the inside for the Air Force. And the linebackers. Mackey is a good one. He was one of the solid players, a defensive player of the Notre Dame set to go on its first third down. They need close to 7 yards, about 6.5 to go.
Adam deep offense where you just run at people. They didn't fire off real good. That offensive line has to come off to make the running game go.
Well, that's the end of the first quarter here at Notre Dame with the score. The Air Force 6, Notre Dame nothing.
Sat down with Mom, talked to Dad. Can't get it together, makes you feel sad. You know you can do it, you wonder where. You want it soon.
Continues to come down here in Notre Dame, Indiana. The Air Force leading Notre Dame 6-0 as we go out. And to the second quarter, play Notre Dame's ball. Second down and 7 at about the 50-yard line. Scott Grooms still quarterbacking the Irish. Getting his chance here today with Berlin injured. Gives it tailback Pinkett. Pinkett trying to find an opening up the middle. Not much of a crease there. Hit by John Ziegler, the right tackle, and Mike Chandler, an inside linebacker with Terry Mackey helping out for the Air Force defense. Their number 7 is Steve Berline, who came up with a shoulder separation last week against Miami. He was the key man, important to the Notre Dame hopes this year, taking over at quarterback.
Well, you saw him signaling the plays in from the sideline, getting it from the offensive coaches upstairs, relayed to him. He gives a signal.
Brown and Howard are the wide receivers here for Notre Dame. Inside handoff to the fullback, Smith, on a fake pitch out. And Smith is very close to first down. Matter of fact, I think he's got it down the Air Force 42-yard line before Scott Thomas can stop him. It is first down for Notre Dame.
Well, those last 3 plays on this first down drive now, Jim, again, the offensive line is firing out, and they're going straight at people. Watch the line come off the line of scrimmage down here and go straight ahead into people. You see them? They pulled a guard there, got a little outside block. Here comes Smith up through there, making error. That's the way they have to do to run the ball. They're not going to make a living running outside.
Take advantage of their weight advantage. The guards are 276 and 277. Tackles 272 and 274. There's a fumble again, and Grooms is able to cover it for Notre Dame. Take the short loss, but hang on to the football.
Well, that's a wet ball, and again, the new quarterback, he probably hasn't worked that much with Kelly up to this week, and that little center quarterback exchange and repetition, there's a little different feel the way each quarterback puts his hands underneath the center.
Certainly puts Grooms on a little bit of a hole, having to start this series now 2nd and 12 at the 44. John Askin was in there too for Notre Dame. He's playing in place of Larry Williams right now at right guard. Back to the eye, they pitch to the Pinkett. It's been the bread and butter play. Turns outside, crosses the 40 and down to the 37. Gets it back about 5 yards on the play. Dwan Wilson and Scott Thomas. Chris Smith was out leading the block that time for number 20, Pinkett, the All-American.
Well, it's just a pitch return, pitched out, got the lead blocker going in front of him. You see Pinkett all by himself trying to make a little move inside, trying to get back out the outside. They get low and underneath him and take those legs out from underneath him. You know,
Pinkett had the surgery, and there's some who think maybe he's not quite as quick as he used to. He's not having the year he had a year ago, but he's still a dangerous back. Third down and 6 to go for Notre Dame. Grooms almost slips. Grooms fires downfield. Man is there is Will Brown, and he's got it for a first down inside the Air Force 20-yard line. Well, the first 2 times he went back to pass, he had people open, and I believe this young man can throw the ball. They can make some yardage past it. Here you go. See Pinkett coming out, looking at it from down the way you see it in the trenches there, rolling out to the outside. Now when he gets outside, difficult pass to throw. Going to your left, throwing back across your body. Does an excellent job of getting that in there to Brown. Notre Dame's averaging 187 yards a game passing. If they maintain that, it'll be the best since the championship year of 1977 here at Notre Dame. First down play inside the 20. Now Grooms on the quick sideline pass. Again, he hits Brown on the quick one, but that'll be a pickup of only about 2 or maybe 3 yards at the most. Pat Malachowski was over there covering at his outside linebacker post. But that might have been another audible by Grooms.
No question the audible to that, and no question now that, you know, his inexperience is showing a little bit. He's looking there. The Air Force outside linebacker, as he audible, started moving out there and almost took that play away from him.
Pick up a 3, 2nd and 7. Ball now at the Air Force 16-yard line. Notre Dame could take the lead with a touchdown and point after Pickett. Nothing doing. A yard maybe. As Air Force now is giving more grudgingly. Larry Nicholas, the nose guard, smelled out that play and came in to make the stop. Short of the 15-yard line.
Okay, well,
so now Notre Dame's going to come up with a big player here on 3rd down, or maybe we'll have to go with a field goal. It's 3rd and 6 at the 15-yard line. Biggest play of the game so far with the Irish. Grooms being chased out of the pocket. Now Grooms is going to run with it, and he gets the first down, I think. He's down inside the 10, and he may be about a yard short. And here will be a decision now for the Notre Dame staff. Grooms chased out of the pocket, almost got it in.
Gonna be awful close over there. Looks like he didn't make it. Now he's chased out of the pocket. He has to make a decision. Now he turns and runs. Knows where that marker is. Should lower his head, but missed it by about maybe half a foot, Jim.
So it's 4th down, less than a yard to go for Notre Dame. And Faust is going to go for it. Now here's where those big linemen may come through for the Irish. Mark Brooks is in at fullback. They got 2 fullbacks, Smith and Brooks in front of Pickett. They need less than a yard. They give it to Pickett, and Pickett dives in there behind his left guard, Tim Scannell, and I think he's got the first down.
Oh, it's going to be close. It is going to be close. Looked like he lost his footing going in there, Jim. I'm not so sure now.
Okay, we may have to measure. Let's see now as they unstack. They put the ball down around the vicinity of the 9-yard line, 8.5 yards. They had to get to 8.5. Ball is just inside the 9. This is going to be an important measurement here for both these teams. Air Force leads 6-0. Notre Dame is down there. Here's the chain down, and it's first down for Notre Dame. First and goal to go at the 8-yard line of the Air Force. Well, Ed, I understand we've got some viewers down in Kingston, Jamaica, watching the telecast of this game. One of your old high school players, Larry Mason, just phoned to say he's watching down in Jamaica. I hope the Jamaican fans stick around and enjoy the other game tonight coming up as LSU entertains Vanderbilt in a key Southeastern Conference game at Baton Rouge. Now first and goal for Notre Dame. 4 plays to get it in. Here comes Grooms. Grooms now giving up the middle, and the tight end, and he fumbles the ball out of bounds. Mark Bavaro, the tight end, came across in motion and took a little shovel pass.
Well, that's the old Jack Curtis shovel pass, but he used it with the tight end. See, come on, he shovels it right up to him. Now Bavaro may have been better off if he'd have turned upfield here and made some yardage. He's trying to run like a halfback, and he's a big 235-pound backer who carried the ball in the wrong hand on the inside arm instead of the outside arm.
Well, he was fortunate that he was close to the boundary. The ball just went out of bounds. Brooks comes back in at fullback, and Notre Dame goes back to its power backfield. 2nd and goal now at the Air Force 2-yard line. Pickett hit at the 2 and driven back. Alan Pickett stopped this time of the Air Force defense. John Ziegler's the first guy to greet him. And then he got a lot of assistance from the Claws, they call the Falcon defense, especially from A.J. Scott and Pat Malachowski.
And a lot of times, Jim, the blockers, you know, people say the line isn't blocking anybody, but this time Pinkett did not stay with the hole. That play was there. He might have, if he'd have stayed inside, lowered his head, he might have made a yard too. But he didn't open quick. He tried to go to the outside and consequently lost yardage.
3rd down at about the 2.5-yard line. Notre Dame trying to get in, and there's Grooms on a play action fake, throws the end zone incomplete. Trying to hit Bavaro, the tight end, incomplete. It'll be 4th down again, and Notre Dame may be forced to go for the 3.
Well, Bavaro was wide open. To come with the play action, faked the running play. Bavaro delayed, then went out into the flats. He just overthrew the ball.
There's Grooms. You can see him. He's staring over the sidelines where the word must come from Jerry Faust. What do you do here? And out comes the field goal unit. So John Carney will try to come in and cut the Air Force lead in half. Carney is 6 for 6 this year at field goals. He's had one as long as 44 yards, and this should be a piece of cake right here. Just a little chippy of about 20 yards. Ball's at the 2.5-yard line of the Air Force. Notre Dame may want to talk it over.
Well, I would think
Call
so.
timeout.
I would think they might want to think about this a little bit. Although they had let the 30-second clock run down, they were going to get penalized 5 yards. They waste. If they kick it, they're wasted a timeout because the extra 5 yards in this field position doesn't mean anything. Now, this is kind of a tough decision for Coach Fouts. He's sitting down there with the ball, on the 2-yard line. If he doesn't make it, if you want to think defensively, Air Force got a long way to go. You may get good field position again. Settling for 3 points, put you in a position that the field goal, another one would just tie the ball game. So I'm not quite sure. This is a tough decision. Obviously, the fans always want you to go for it.
Well, they're leaving Carney out there. Fisher DeBerry now is going to think maybe some fake is a distinct possibility here. And here comes Grooms back on the field. So the quarterback, Grooms, comes back in. Notre Dame's going to go for it. So Faust, who's endured a lot of second guessing here at Notre Dame the last 3 years, has put himself on the line here. They're going to go for the touchdown in the first half with 10.5 minutes to go till halftime, and Air Force leading 6-0. If they fail here, Ed, Air Force going to be backed up inside its own 2-yard line.
I think this is an excellent decision by Jerry Faust. Whether they make it or not, they've got to decide now. Don't say after the play is whether you like the decision or not. I think it's an excellent decision. If they make it, they've got a chance to go ahead in the ball game. If they don't make it, as you said, Air Force is really backed up. This football team needs a lift. Their fans need a lift. They need to have something good happen to them. A field goal is really almost like settling for nothing.
I think Air Force has called a timeout. So Air Force, Fisher DeBerry's called a timeout. He's going to make sure he sets up. This is a very big play here for both these teams. If Faust is Irish, gets the ball in the end zone here and takes the lead, no doubt they're going to pick up the momentum. But there's, by the same token, and as clearly, if Air Force can stop them, they will, of course, be able to maintain the momentum of this game.
Well, that's exactly right. And, of course, that's just stuff that's going on. They had their field goal block team on, was forced to take a timeout when Notre Dame sent their offensive team back on field.
There's Faust, and here's Grooms. His first start ever for Notre Dame, although he's a senior. Played the shadow this year of Steve Berline, and he was the shadow of Kiel before that. Came here as a freshman 5 years ago, transferred back to Miami, Ohio, then changed his mind again, returned to Notre Dame.
You got to make a decision, run or pass, Jim.
Well, Pinkett is set out in a slot now, and they've got only one running back, Smith, behind Grooms. Howard is to the right. Here comes Jackson in motion to the right. And here comes Grooms, going to pass on 4th down. Grooms is hit, gets away, fires the end zone, touchdown, caught by Jackson. Oh, what a play by Grooms. Got away from the tackler. Looked like he might be sacked. And he just drilled that ball to Milt Jackson, and Notre Dame takes the lead.
Oh, this was a gutsy call that took it. Now, you see Grooms come out here. He shows the strength of his arm. There's no one open right now. He's looking around. Now, he drills this in. A lot of people. Breaks a tackle. Now, this is drilled right in there. Jackson makes an excellent catch in the end zone. Gutsy call. Excellent play execution. The Irish needed that for their fans and their own football team.
Well, that was super coverage. And the kick. And it is good, and Notre Dame does indeed take the lead with 23 to go in the first half. It's Notre Dame 7, Air Force 6. Well, here's some more action coming next week on ESPN. South Carolina went in this weekend undefeated, coming to Notre Dame to battle the Fighting Irish. And then later, next Saturday night, you also see Oklahoma, one of the most powerful offenses in the country, going to Iowa State. And tonight, 7:30 Eastern Time, LSU entertaining Vanderbilt.
Old friend Joe Morrison brings that South Carolina team in there. Out of Lima, Ohio, University of Cincinnati, played pro ball for a number of years. Got an undefeated football team doing an excellent job.
Here's the kickoff now to Notre Dame. Waiting back there is Scott Thomas in his end zone. He's going to run it out. Thomas to the 10. Thomas to the 15, up the middle to the 20, and out to the 23-yard line. So 23-yard return by Thomas, stopped by Pat Cusack of Notre Dame. But the Irish is in the lead, 7-6, thanks to a scoring drive engineered by Grooms of 53 yards in 14 plays, with a couple of key plays there. 4th down, they picked up a 1st down, and then on 4th down, after having the field goal unit on the field, Jerry Faust brought it back, went for the big one, and it paid off.
Well, Jim, I like what I've seen of Grooms. His passing ability doesn't leave much to be desired.
Weiss continues on the counter play, tries to give up the middle to Jody Simmons. Hitting straight ahead. Kovaleski trips him up as he goes over the 25. So the Air Force that had sparkling success early in the ball game with their option play now have been stopped a little bit by this Notre Dame defense since Ed Biles pointed out they made an adjustment.
Well, Jim, if they continue to take the outside away, now the weight advantage Irish have inside, stopping the inside running game will be the key, especially on this field that's beginning to get wet.
Weiss gives to his fullback again, and a good run by Johnny Smith, a young sophomore fullback from Fayetteville, Georgia, number 37, only 5'9", but he runs with a good low point of gravity, and watch him go.
Well, watch you blocking here by Overdick, the center, working on the nose guard. Look at him. He's into what you call he fires into him, stays down, keeps crawling, keeps a crawl block going, forces him back off the line of scrimmage. Now, that's right, they've got to stay low to get underneath those big people. If they stay low, they get underneath the big ones.
That's a first down for the Air Force at their own 35-yard line. Here's Bart Weiss, who can really run this option play. Keeps it. Weiss pitches it out. Here comes Pashesniak. Turns the corner. Doesn't get a lot, but he picks up about 2 yards on the play before Pat Ballage brought him out. That play was really killing Notre Dame in the first quarter of the game. Air Force ran it with big chunks of yardage, but now Notre Dame's cutting it down a little bit. Pickup there was 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, since they changed from that man-to-man into the zone that cornerback can cover, now really Air Force is going to have to establish either the inside running game with that fullback or get a little more play action passes to open them up, because the zone seams will be open if they come with some play action stuff.
Eric Ferris comes in at the split end for the Air Force. 2nd and 8. Take the full. Here's a play action. Going back to left side to the tight end, and Brennan has got it over the 45, and a good call, Ed, and that'll be a first down.
Well, that's the kind of the chess match that goes off and on. When someone makes an adjustment, the other one has to counteract it. You can see the coaches up in the press box. If they're alert, they're making those adjustments. Excellent call by the Air Force then.
I think they got interference against Notre Dame on the play also, so they could take the penalty here. They're going to take the one which is ever larger, of course. Remember, they stopped that old penalty of the spot of the foul, and if it's farther upfield, Air Force might take the penalty. The completion gives them the first down at the 47. The flag was thrown right there. Hugh Brennan made a great catch.
Well, the 15-yard penalty would give them a little bit more yardage on the play.
Well, let's see. They're going to
interference call on Notre Dame.
They're going to turn it down. They'll take the play, which is a first down.
Well, I'm not so sure that the official did a good job of explaining that option to the captain of that team. I think that Air Force captain is a little bit smarter than that. I doubt very seriously whether the option was explained that he could take the 15-yarder. I'm sure he said you made the first down, and that's all the young man was worried about, was taking that first down.
Well, it's a first down. The ball is just over the 46. Let's call it the 46-yard line. Bart Weiss done a masterful job here running the triple option out of the wishbone attack for the Air Force. Notre Dame fans are roaring here now, and there's the keeper. Weiss pitches it back outside to Simmons. Simmons turns the corner down to the Notre Dame 40 for a first down. Simmons has shown great burst of speed, just like Pashesniak had. Mike Golick made the stop, but it's a first down for the Falcons as they roar right back after the Notre Dame touchdown. 1st and 10 on the 38-yard line.
Well, he's really doing a good job of reading his options on that play. As he comes down the line, he can give it to the fullback. He can keep it himself. And that time again, when he wound up with no force there, he made the pitch, and Notre Dame they caught him in that man-for-man coverage, and Wilson had to back off for the receiver.
There's Simmons. He's been joined the backfield now by Mike Brown. Mike Brown returning to action today for the Air Force. He was their big play man, but now with the injury, they give it to Brown on the counter play. Brown to the right side inside the 35, and caught it on the 32 by Pat Ballage. So they are hitting behind the Notre Dame flow to cover that option play. So they're going back on counter plays, and it's worked pretty well.
Well, you see him got two backs coming this way, and then Brown going back to that side. Boy, that Brown is some back. You know, he set an NC2A record last year. Jimmy averaged 8.5 yards per carry and 83, an NC2A record.
As we mentioned, he had a big afternoon against Notre Dame, 148 yards. 2nd down and 4 for the Air Force. And the fullback's got the first down. Driving is Smith, about the 27-yard line.
Well, Big Wally Klein was coming down on the inside. I'm sure it was his responsibility to take the fullback away. Fullback just ran by him. He just missed a tackle, and that opened it up.
Stop was by James Bobb, who had to replace Joe Johnson, shaken up a little bit earlier here at strong safety. This first down will be marked at the Notre Dame 26. A field goal, of course, could put the Air Force back in the lead. They're trailing by just 1 point. They missed the point after their first touchdown. Notre Dame came back on the fourth quarter pass to take the lead and added the point. It's 7-6 right now, Irish. But the Air Force rolling. Here's the keep. No, it's a give the fullback, and Smith has got some room. Fumbles the ball, but I think they're going to say he was down around the 16-yard line. Johnny Smith, boy, he got some explosiveness there after he cleared that line.
The key to this play, Jim, watch the splits. Watch the splits on the right side of the line there. How wide they are. They force the defense. Look where the right tackle, how wide he is out there. That forces the defense to widen out with it. Now he took the option of giving the ball to fullback inside.
Well, they fooled our cameraman, so I'm glad I'm not the only one here today. This guy's a magician, this Bart Weiss. Rick DiBernardo, and to make the stop for Notre Dame. Gain of 9 on the play. 2nd and 1. See what Weiss tries here at the 27-yard line. Going to keep it. Pitches it back outside. Here comes Simmons. Simmons looking to turn the corner inside the 25. And he'll inside the 15 rather, and you'll have a first down. DiBernardo made the defensive play for the Irish, but number 25, Jody Simmons, on a block by Mike Brown, was able to get it outside again for the Air Force. And now it's 1st and 10 at the Notre Dame 13-yard line, and the Irish continuing to have problems here with wishbone attack. It was just straight option earlier. They adjust a little bit on that, but Air Force has come back with some counter plays. And that's what you love to see, a football game. And that's what we got here, Ed.
Well, they're not getting enough penetration to stop. Look at the splits at the top again now.
They go to the right, and here's the pitch back to Simmons. Got a block in front of him. Simmons cuts inside the 5. Simmons to the 2. Maybe a 1st and goal. Mike Kovaleski, a weak side linebacker for Notre Dame. Mike Brown again was leading the blocking, and how these halfbacks can block for the other man out of the option.
Well, you see, you're coming down the line of scrimmage. There's the first option. Fakes there, look, takes it out. Now he's coming, makes the pitch. No force out there for the Irish. A little bit of poor tackling coming across field there. He got about 7 yards there at the end by just lowering his head and going forward for it.
That's the 1st and goal at the 2-yard line of Notre Dame. Actually about 1.5 yards. So they don't have a full 2 yards to go here. It's just outside the 1-yard line. 2 tight ends, full backfield. Full back, touchdown. Johnny Smith plunges behind his own left guard, Fred Buttrell, and the Air Force has come back to score to regain the lead on Notre Dame.
And what Jody Simmons, whose rushing average of 7.0 come this game, has carried 10 times for 82 yards. They'll probably go for the 2-point conversion in this situation, Jim, since they missed the first one.
That's the 2nd touchdown score this year by Johnny Smith, who came into this game with only 118 yards. Jerry Faust wants the attention of his defense. He knows they're going to go for 2. Golick now takes the word in. Mike Golick, number 55, defensive captain. They've asked the ball to be moved to the hash mark on the left. So Air Force going to go for 2 here to try and get the 14-7 lead. Mike Brown is in there. He'll be running at left half. The right half is Pashusniak. Bart Weiss, the quarterback, and the fullback is Johnny Smith, who scored his 2nd touchdown of the season. A fake to Smith. They pitch it back out to Brown. Brown's going to throw it the end zone, man wide open. The tight end, Brennan's got it, and there's the 2-point conversion. The option pitch and the halfback pass from Brown to Brennan. And it's just that simple for the Air Force to go up by 7. How'd you like that one?
Oh, what a great call. What a great call by the offensive coaches over there.
We'll be right back. Air Force leading 7.
Here you see them coming out with the option pitch out to Brown on a 2-point conversion. Makes it look like they're running. Now Notre Dame comes up to force him. He just lobs it into the end zone. Great call. They really had to throw that anytime this ball game gets it in there for the 2-pointer.
There's the kickoff now. And it's an outside try. And they do the sky kick down to the 30-yard line. Notre Dame trying to get, Air Force trying to get back the ball. Doesn't work. Notre Dame gets it inside the 30 at the 29-yard line. But don't you think on that try for 2 points, if Notre Dame doesn't come out to play the play, that Ward's got, Brown's got a good chance to just take it right on the end?
Oh, that's the option of it. He had the option to either run the ball or pass the ball, depending on what happens there. or someone has to stay back with the receiver. Someone else is responsible for coming up and making a play. Good decision by Milt Jackson. Fair catch.
Texas Francisco sophomore comes from Jerry Fausto High School in Cincinnati. 10th in the NCAA with kickoff returns, the Fighting Irish. Of course, the Air Force ranks a little higher than that. They're in the top 5.
Well, I'm sure Air Force is really happy to come here and jump on top of them and get that early lead, because the one thing you want to do to a football team is struggling is get ahead of them.
Heading over here is Brown. They kick it to Brown. Short now. Goes back one of the short guys has got it. That looks like fullback Chris Smith, and he brings it over the 20-yard line. And Notre Dame now takes over a little bit better spot than they did at start. There's the scoring drive. 63 yards, we told you. Took them 8 plays, a little over 2.5 minutes. Simmons, on the option pitch out, made the final 5 yards, and the Air Force lead. Kevin Martin made that stop on the kickoff, but Notre Dame now will try to get something started. Scott Grooms is still the quarterback. The tailback is Alan Pickett. Fullback is Chris Smith. And here's the pitch to Pickett. Now he goes back on the flea flicker, and Grooms is going deep. He's got his man Jackson out there, but it's over his head. Notre Dame going to the tricks here in the first half. The flea flicker pitch back to Grooms, and Jackson was open. Wilson recovering, trying to get there, but the ball was just simply overthrown.
There's any question about Grooms' arms. He showed it there. He put that ball in there about 60 yards. Good play, good call. The Irish needed something to loosen them up a little bit, maybe get Air Force thinking a little bit more about the passing game than cramming up there and playing all the run.
Now they face 2nd and 10. Tim Brown is coming replacing Joe Howard. He goes out wide, both wide receivers at the right. That's the wide side of the field. Grooms had a couple of things to get loosened up on. Here he comes. Now fakes the Pickett on the play action. Here's Grooms. Drills it over there, and it's hit down. Ooh, what a hit on Tim Brown by A.J. Scott. Boy, Scott really killed him over there after Brown had caught that crossing pattern, but he pays for it. Just watch this.
Oh, what a hit as we see this. Here's the crossing pattern. I see him coming across the field. Watch him catch it. Watch the hit here by A.J. Scott. Boy, that's like a Ford running over a rooster when they make a hit like that.
All that for just 4 yards. I don't know whether it's worth it or not. That must be running through Tim Brown's mind. A young freshman, but he's getting an introduction here to college football. Certainly today, if he hasn't had it before. 3rd down and 6 for the Irish. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Both Howard and Jackson are off the left side. There goes a penalty flag down. There's one over the middle. Great catch over here by Brown, and he stumbles out the 30, but the penalty flag had been dropped, I think, before the snap. So it could have been a dead ball foul. If so, well, it's going to be against Notre Dame, illegal procedure. But I think Air Force will take the play. But it may not be allowed to. Not be allowed to.
No, it'll be 4th down. I believe that was a motion penalty with a man coming in motion. Started off the line of scrimmage too soon. It's going to be 4th down. They'll turn this down and force Notre Dame to punt.
All depends on whether it was a dead ball foul or not. Watch the referee, Vincent Price, and listen.
Now the illegal procedure on the blue decline.
Was after the snap. So Notre Dame has to give up the football. Air Force gets it back with over 4.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Air Force leads 6-0. And the punt for Notre Dame, Mike Vericola. And back is the explosive Scott Thomas. Single safety for the Air Force. Averaging 15 yards a return, and along with 54 yards this year. And his coach, Fisher DeBerry, says he's going to break one sooner or later. Here's the punt down. Here comes Thomas up the 32. Thomas at the 35, not this time. Notre Dame's got him covered, and down he goes around the 37-yard line. And that's where the Air Force will start this time, 1st and 10. It's about where they had it back a few minutes ago, and they marched all the way to score.
Well, they're starting off in good field position. Now they have the ball up on the 37-yard line. They came out, ran that option to the outside, really made yardage.
And Ed, Mike Brown is coming in the game for the first time in 3 games for the Air Force. He's their All-American candidate at running back. Had a great season last year. He hurt Notre Dame almost 150 yards. So here's the senior from Kansas City. Been out for a couple of games. He's back in there. Number 3 is the running back in the backfield now. He'll team up here with 25, Jody Simmons. So they've taken out Pashysniak. Roll out, pass attempt by Weiss. Weiss turning the corner, going to keep it and take the loss. Weiss driven out of bounds for a loss back inside the 35 by Robert Banks, a sophomore. First time we've seen that play, we saw a rollout and keep by Weiss, but I think that time he wanted to throw.
Well, sometimes as a coach, you outthink yourself, and I'm sure Fisher DeBerry had this call again. He wouldn't have made it. He figured, well, we may have set up for a play-action pass. That's what it was supposed to be, coming down off the option and one to throw the ball just to keep Notre Dame honest.
Robert Banks, number 56, a sophomore from Hampton, Virginia. And if you care about those things, he was National High School Player of the Year, according to the Columbus Touchdown Club, when he came out of high school down in the Tidewater area. 2nd and 13. There's a keep by Weiss. They got it. Weiss is caught it for a loss at the 34, and it's Banks again.
But Jim, the key to that play was Notre Dame has made an adjustment. Golick that time was out there on Brown covering the pitchman. There was no one open for him to make the pitch to. He had to hang on the football. Now Notre Dame has made that adjustment.
All right, so a little chess game going. Now it's up to Air Force to come back with a counter move. Ken Carpenter brings the play in at split end. Air Force facing a need of a big play right here. It's 3rd down and 14 at their own 34. Give us to the fullback. Up the middle goes Evans. Doesn't get much. Jerry Winley stops him about the original line of scrimmage. So it'll be 4th, about 10 yards to go. Let's see where they spot it at the 38. So make it 4th and 10. Punting unit comes on, and Notre Dame will get back the football in quick order this time. First time they've stopped Air Force.
That's exactly right. Jerry Wiley had been an offensive lineman up till last week. He's out of LaSalle High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. They moved him to defense because of the injuries they'd had in that position.
Troy Wilson, the deep man for Notre Dame, here to receive the kick. Howard is also back there for the Irish. Here's the punt, and Mark Simon gets it away. Twisting kick. Wilson hits a hit in front of him. He goes directly out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So Notre Dame this time is going to come up with fairly good field position at its own 30, trailing by just 6 points with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. And the Irish fans are roaring now for a rally behind Jerry Faust, the embattled coach of Notre Dame.
Well, they need to get the running game going, Jim. That's normally their bread and butter, but so far the baker hasn't been baking and the butterman hasn't been coming. They have to establish this running game to keep some of the pressure off young Grooms at the quarterback position.
The rain, which had stopped, now is beginning to come down again. And the ball game is Scott Grooms, the quarterback. Grooms gives it to Pinkett, his All-American tailback, turns the corner up to the 40-yard line. He's got a first down for Notre Dame, I believe. And a penalty is going to be tacked on to the Air Force. Personal foul for hitting Pickett after he was driven out of bounds by Scott Thomas.
Well, again, as we talked about the chess game that goes on, Notre Dame now, early series, Air Force was overshifting their line to the wide side of the field. Notre Dame came out this time, ran that play into the short side of the field, and they had difficulty getting the force.
We're going to keep track of Pickett's yardage here today. He needs 100 yards to catch the immortal George Gipp on Notre Dame's all-time list of rushes. A little concern right there by Fisher DeBerry, a young first-year coach of the Air Force. Penalty takes the ball to the Air Force territory. First time Notre Dame's been down here, isn't it?
Well, I think that was a close call. I believe Fisher was a little bit concerned that call was made in front of the Notre Dame bench. You know, he didn't throw him down. He was hanging on to him. Might be a little slippery. Sometimes it's hard to stop when you're in that position on the sideline.
Well, Scott Grooms, he followed Art Schleister back in their high school in Greenfield, Ohio. Fumble! And let's see who's going to get Notre Dame, I believe. But no, wait a minute. Air Force may have it. Nope, Notre Dame's got it. Recovered by a fullback, Chris Smith, number 32. Larry Nicholas was in there and had a chance for the Air Force. Notre Dame stalled momentarily after getting into Air Force territory. That'll be no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 44.
Yeah, you're always concerned about that when you got a new quarterback, hadn't played that much. He's got to ride that center and stay with him. Kelly's an All-American, a great pro prospect at that center position.
Jackson to the left, Howard to the right for Notre Dame in the eye. Grooms and quickly out to Howard, and it's broken up. He couldn't hang on to it, and Wilson almost had a chance to pick it off. The left cornerback for the Air Force. Intended for little Joe Howard. What a favorite he's been here at Notre Dame in his football and basketball play, carrying 2 sports. But he says, you know, I'm just kind of guy got to keep moving.
Well, I like what I've seen of Grooms right now. He audibled to that play. Howard split and then split out wider. He recognized one-on coverage. Howard tried to run before he caught the football.
Now they got single coverage on Howard this time to the left side. Grooms on the deep drop. Grooms on the backfield. Fullback Smith can't hold it. He had to go to his release man. Both deep receivers, Howard and Jackson, were covered down around the 10-yard line by the Air Force. And the drop pass brings on 4th and 10 for Notre Dame. So the Irish stalls after getting into the Air Force territory. And in comes Mike Viricola. If anything, Notre Dame has held an edge in the kicking game so far. Viricola comes in. Thomas, of course, awaits for the Air Force. Ooh, close. Well, he's going to have to snap there. Going to let it go, and Notre Dame will down it inside the 10. Great coverage there by Francisco, and so the Air Force will be backed up in its deepest spot of the game, 1st and 10 at its own 8-yard line. Hiawatha Francisco went sailing down under that punt and downed it at the 8-yard line. Thomas tried to decoy by signaling a fair catch and then letting the ball hit over his head, hoping it would bound in the end zone, but that was a great kick.
Well, that's a great, the key to that was the fact that Duracola was able to get the hang time, hold it up there for Francisco to get down and cover. Francisco and Wade, excellent special team player for the Notre Dame team.
Last time, Notre Dame stopped the Air Force option play. Let's see what they do out of the wishbone here. Mike Brown is back in the left halfback. Fullback Evans up the middle again. Gets at most a yard. Hit at the 9-yard line and taken down by Mike Griffin on nose tackle. Big sophomore. Boy, that's a big Notre Dame line. Griffin's 254. Yan 256. Klein 278 and 6'9". Inside linebackers go 228 and 218. But Golick, an outside linebacker, is 257 and Banks 234. Air Force giving up some weight even here to Notre Dame's defense. On 2nd and 9, keep this time by Weiss. Now pitches it back, cutting inside Sims, and Notre Dame covers the play. Simmons gets over the 10-yard line, and he's tripped up over there, so it'll be short of a first down by plenty. Greg Dingens was the man that got him for the Irish. So Weiss has got to think of something else. His pet plays have been clicking so well. Now suddenly being stopped by Notre Dame.
Well, Notre Dame's made the adjustment, as we said. Instead of playing man, now they're playing a lot of zone with that cornerback out there. Instead of having to go off with the receiver, can come up and play the run, and the safety is going back to back him up in case it is a pass.
We're in the final minute of the first quarter. Air Force leads 6-0 as they face 3rd and 6. Here Weiss after play action fake. Weiss going deep down the middle of the tight end. And it is incomplete. Brennan got a hand on it at the 45. Heavily covered. And Weiss really threw that ball into a crowd.
And that's their first pass, Jim. Everything up to this point has been all runs. A couple of times they wanted to pass, but they turned into runs. That's their first pass of the day. Brennan almost made a great catch. He had that one hand out there and almost pulled it in. Notre Dame now should wind up getting good field position. Opportunity to maybe move and get back into the ball game.
There's Brennan. Boy, he tried to make a one-hand catch a la Willie Mays and didn't work. Mark Simon comes in to punt from out of his own end zone. Back is Troy Wilson for Notre Dame. That footed kicker gets it away. It's up Buhlen. Wilson has to backpedal all the way to his 42. Goes back to the 42-yard line. He's going to be stopped. He crosses the 45. So that gets it out of a danger spot on Mark Simon's nifty punt. Steve Sigler went down to make the tackle under the kick, and Notre Dame will now take it at its 47. But the Irish gradually getting better field position.
Well, they're starting out with great field position. Wilson actually could have made more yardage. One thing he's going to have to learn, when you're back there, you can't jump around. Catch that ball, make a decision to go, even if you make the wrong decision. But when you're moving around back there, that cover team is going to be right down on top of you.
Notre Dame goes to the split backs for the first time. And they give inside fullback Chris Smith. Drives it forward for a short gain. Remember tonight, 7:30 Eastern time, it'll be Vanderbilt, LSU from Baton Rouge with Jim Simpson and Paul McGuire.
Well, that's the kind of play that Notre Dame should have success.
At their own 28. Scott Grooms. Pass for the only Irish touchdown so far. Back in at quarterback. Fumble on the snap, and the fullback Smith jumps right on it. May have picked up a yard or two as the ball banded forward. That's about the 3rd time today that Grooms has had trouble covering the exchange.
That sure is. That's the 3rd one, Jim, and that really hurts your football team. You take 3 opportunities away to make yardage and make first downs. And one thing that's happening now, Air Force is bringing 3 defensive backs over here whenever they go into a slot. Watch for Notre Dame to come back and go away from that slot.
Most dangerous receiver, Jackson's to the right here. They fake on the play action. Here's Grooms. Grooms now going to have to run. Now he fakes and taken out of bounds. Across the 30, he's going to get a short gain out of the play, but nothing long. Air Force had 3 deep receivers covered. They've had both Jackson and Howard down, along with the tight end, Bavaro. So Notre Dame now faces a 3rd down.
Well, they were trying to do what the coaches normally refer to as a flood pattern. Fake the play action, brought Bavaro all the way across the field. The outside receiver was twin out. If they had been in a zone coverage, would have been good. Air Force was in a man coverage, and everybody was going with a man for man.
It's 3rd down and 7 here for Notre Dame, just over their 31-yard line. 2 wide receivers to left. Grooms up, goes over the middle, incomplete. They tried to hit the tight end Bavaro at the 39-yard line. That was the spot they needed to go for the first down. I don't think Bavaro's deep enough. If he caught the ball there, it would not have been a first down. Rotello was covering for the Air Force. But now it's 4th, and Notre Dame will punt. Air Force gets back the football, and Notre Dame can prepare to see that option out of the wishbone. There's Thomas, one of the nation's leading kick returners, and into punt Mike Varacola, averaging over 40 yards a punt. Well, these are two great kicking games dueling here today. Good snap. Varacola's been rushed a couple of times. Thomas, no signal, takes it on the 30. Thomas looking for the sideline, being chased. Great coverage by Notre Dame. Taken out of bounds on the 31. So that was tremendous coverage down here by Notre Dame. And so it'll be Air Force ball at their 31. Francisco was the man down under the punt. We'll take a timeout with a score. Air Force 14, Notre Dame 7. Crown Championship Series continues tomorrow, 6:30 on ESPN, with the top Colts going, including on the road again.
Jim, this is a key series for both ball clubs. Defensively, 5 minutes to go in the first half. Notre Dame has to stop Air Force. If they get some more points, they go into halftime with a comfortable lead. On the other hand, Air Force would love to go down right now, put more points on the board, go into halftime with a very comfortable lead. Well, this could be a key series in this entire ball game.
Air Force right now like to take some time off the clock. 5 minutes to go in the half. Air Force leads 14-7. Bart Weiss continues to run. He gives him the counter play up the middle. Strutting through there was Pashesniak. And he got a nice crease. No, it's going to be Simmons. Jody Simmons, number 25. Pat Ballard tripped him up. And so Air Force have been using that triple option play a lot. Now going to a lot of counters.
He steps to his right, then he comes back to his left and hands it in there. Now he's doing a lot of audible at the line of scrimmage. Notre Dame is using 50 defense, or they're making about 3 defensive fronts. He's audible into the front with a play that he wants against that front.
Gain of 9, 2nd and just 1 here for the Air Force at their 41-yard line. Keep there by Weiss. He tries to cut back, and he is covered. And he goes short of the first down. Wally Klein, 6'9", 278, just buried Weiss at the line of scrimmage. And it'll be 3rd down, a yard to go.
Well, you can watch him as he gets up there now. His head looks to the right side, looks to the left side, trying to look what defensive adjustments the Notre Dame front men are doing. Then he calls the play. He might add numbers or subtract numbers, whatever their audible system is, to try to put his offense in the best play against that defensive front.
They got 2 wide receivers in, trying to spread out that Notre Dame defense a little bit. 3rd down, a yard. Notre Dame looking to go for the first down. Here's the keep out of the pitch back to Simmons. He's got the turner torn, and Simmons has got the first down. He turns into the 45. Mike Golick hitting for Notre Dame, but Simmons scores another first down. Air Force keeps the ball with the clock rolling.
Well, they had to play well defense. Mike Haywood, when he came up, if he had gotten himself under control, they had 2 people out there, but he allowed himself to get cut down and let Simmons get to the outside. We may see Simmons some kind of football night in that game against LSU and Vanderbilt.
Oh boy, they'll be roaring. Those Tiger fans will. What a spot that'll be. And Jim Simpson, Paul McGuire will be there for ESPN tonight, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. First down for the Air Force. Keep on White. Play action. Blitz by Notre Dame. Fires upfield, incomplete. He got rid of the ball, throwing toward Mike Brown, a halfback, but there was a full all-out blitz on for Notre Dame. Penalty flag goes down. They may have roughed the passer. Kovaleski came in and nailed Weiss. Well, Weiss looked around and saw nothing but navy blue and golden domes, and he unloaded in the general direction of Mike Brown. Now down comes the referee, Vincent Price. We'll see what this is about, but the flag was thrown. Now they may throw ground. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to say it was a mistake.
Well, he's going to eat the flag. The referee ran all the way downfield to check with one of the other officials on what was happening down there. So apparently he may have
thought intentional grounding for an instant.
He may have thought that it was he may have called out. He may have thought it was an uncatchable pass. Whatever it is, it's 2nd down and 10.
Carpenter's back in. It's split in for the Air Force. 2nd and 10 at their 45. And Weiss has to keep it this time and duck up the middle. A little bit of a mishap there. Robert Banks for Notre Dame came in to hit Weiss, number 4. It's just a short gain, and here will be a key 3rd down for Air Force with over 3 minutes on the clock.
Well, evidently the ball might be getting a little bit slippery and wet out there. The people on the sideline should really keep dry towels and keep drying that foul off. We've had 4 center quarterback chain fumbles in this game so far, and it really isn't raining that hard. It's misting out there, but not a hard rain.
You know, they thought last year when Air Force lost its quarterback, they'd be in trouble, but Bart Weiss and Brian Knorr both have done a great job for the Falcons. Weiss now has broken the bone. He has set one of his halfbacks, Brown, off in the slot, and Air Force is going to call timeout. What happened there, Ed?
Well, I think they were a little slow getting the play in from the sideline. They took a little extra time in the huddle. When they came up the line of scrimmage, didn't have enough time to beat the 25-second count.
We'll be right back. Air Force leads 14-7. Remaining in the first half, 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Air Force ball. The Falcons are leading Notre Dame 14-7, and they have the ball with a big 3rd and 9 here at their own 46. In motion, they're setting up the reverse play. And here comes Ferris with some running room. He's got a lot of room over the 50. He's got the first down over the 40. 35 to the 32. And the Air Force surprises Notre Dame with a trick play, a wide receiver reverse, and it clicks down to the 32-yard line.
Well, here you see it. Now, the man responsible for the reverse coming back here was the defensive end. He got himself caught too far inside. Once he gets outside, now the people downfield are in man-for-man coverage. They're going off with him.
Hey, that was an option pass play. This guy's a former quarterback, Ferris, and he was set to throw if they came up to pressure.
And a double-covered receiver downfield, but the one defensive back should come off. And here it is from another angle. He's looking, kind of not really thinking too much about making the pass.
They had too much room. First down with the Air Force, and keep by Weiss. Weiss pitches it back, and now here's Simmons trying to get outside, and a great defensive play by Notre Dame. Spells him up. That was Troy Wilson, a left corner linebacker, and Notre Dame stops the option play for one of the rare times here this afternoon.
Well, they stopped him that play, but the prior play that made that big first down on that 3rd down situation is now going to enable Air Force to almost run this clock out, or at least get an attempt at a field goal before they have. Notre Dame has only one timeout left. They really won't have the ability to stop the clock.
1:39 to go. Field goal range for Mateos, 54 yards he's made one. Up the middle, penalty flag thrown. Fullback Pat Evans, a little bit of a counter there out of the fullback spot. Kovaleski tripped him up. The flag goes down. Ed, one of the pleasant things about this game is we've had very few penalties.
Yeah, this was a key one from Air Force's standpoint, though. They were a little bit of motion, went on a quick count. Somebody wasn't quite set. They're going to take the 5-yard penalty, of course, and make it 2nd down, but more importantly, kind of take them out of that field goal range unless they make another big play or two.
Well, they had carried down inside the 30 and definitely would have been in range for Mateos, but now it's back to the 39. And it becomes 2nd down and very long yardage. 2nd and 17.
Comes down to that. Mateos has got a good leg. He's only missed a 147-yarder this year. He's already made a 54-yard kick this year, so he's got that long range.
That was against Utah. There you see him. Another minute and a half to go. Carpenter is the wide receiver. That's a familiar name. You fans back in the 40s remember the lonely end, Bill Carpenter, who's now Brigadier General and in the College Football Hall of Fame. Well, this is his son playing wide receiver today for the Air Force. 2nd and long for the Air Force. Keep by Weiss. They go to the short side. They pitch it out to Brown. Not much running room over there. Kovaleski. Need more room than that to run that pitch option play. They went into the boundary.
Well, they've been running to the wide side. This time they thought maybe Notre Dame would be overshift. They came back into silent, but it also stopped the clock, which they really didn't particularly want to do at this stage. Get back those penalties. The Air Force had 2 and Notre Dame's had 1, so there hasn't been many penalties.
Only 3 for the half. We just had one. There's Mike Brown, who's been the leading receiver for the Falcons, also one of the leading rushers, but he's been out for 2 games with an injury. Simmons, Evans, and Brown are the running backs. And Weiss, the quarterback, as Air Force faces a big 3rd down play. They need to pick up here at least 4 or 5 yards to give Mateos a good shot at the field goal. And they give the fullback, and he's got some room. That is Pat Evans on a slant inside the 30-yard line. Doesn't get the first down, but he's going to give Mateos a better shot at the field goal. Stopped by Mike Kovaleski. Here it is.
You see him coming down, handing the ball up to the fullback, just slips it in there. Notre Dame thinking he's probably going to go outside. Didn't mind too much about giving up 5 or 6 yards in that situation now. Now, this is a tough decision being made on that sideline right now. They're going to let the clock run all the way down. Notre Dame not using their last timeout. They're going to let it run all the way down and probably be about 28 seconds or so to go before they take that timeout, which means that Notre Dame won't have any chance at all.
29 seconds to go. Air Force waited till 2 seconds was on the snap clock. And so the field goal count will be about 45 yards. We'll be back for that try by Mateos in just a moment. Any chance of a fake or surprise you're in?
Well, he's doing an awful lot of fooling around out there with that leg, and usually that might be an indication. It'd be a good place for it. It's going to have to be a 45-yard kick. Might be an excellent place to make that call if they have it in their report.
All right, it'll be a 45-yard attempt from the near hash mark. Air Force tried to add to its lead of 7 points. Now he kicks it away. I think it's going to be short. No good. Well, he just barely missed, did Mateos. So Notre Dame has time for 2 or 3 plays here. They'll take over the line of scrimmage, which was around the 30 or 28-yard line. So that was a nice attempt by Mateos. Practically no wind here. Was coming across Miss Wright. Coming up at halftime from Sports Center, Bruce Beck will have all the scores, highlights of other games today around the country. And then tonight at 7:30 here on ESPN, it's LSU and Vanderbilt in a showdown in the Southeastern Conference. Now Grooms has the Notre Dame offense back. Grooms going to go for it. Grooms plenty of time, drills it over the middle. Knocked down, intended for Howard. Good coverage done there by Mike Chandler, an inside linebacker. Well, they're going to Joe Howard. Stops the clock with 19 seconds to go, so that play took only 5 seconds.
Well, he's got a good, strong arm. I'd like to see him go back in this situation and just throw one as long as he can. Let one of those speed guys go down there and see whether he can get underneath. You see Berline giving the signals there now. He gives the formation, he gives the play, he gives everything except the starting count.
Air Force continues with a 4-man rush. Now they're showing a 5-man front. And there's a blitz away, and they get it off to fullback Smith. Smith on the left side gets them over the 35-yard line. That may run out the first half. We're down inside 9 seconds, and time is called right there by Notre Dame. So they want one more shot at it. The 35-yard line. That's the time remaining. Notre Dame. Fumble again by Grooms. Picked up by Pickett. Here comes Pickett trying to make something out of it outside the right, and he is thrown down. His time will run out here in the first half. Down, and there's the final second. And so the first half is over. And how'd you like this one, Ed Biles?
Well, I liked what the things that Air Force did. Get a little disappointed in Notre Dame's offense. They've got to move the ball better than what they have been doing.
All right, we'll be coming back shortly for the second half. And now Bruce Beck standing by with all the scores. The halftime score, Air Force 14, Notre Dame 7. Back to Notre Dame Stadium. That's the band, the marching band of Notre Dame, and that famous fight song here. Past a crowd of over 59,000. And look at how Air Force dominated this game on the ground in the first half, Ed Biles.
Well, the rushing yardage, Air Force 216-yard rushing and 1.5 of football against Notre Dame 60. That pretty well times everything up right there, because you're looking at, the total yard almost doubled. No turnovers, but Notre Dame did have 5 fumbles. They were fortunate enough. Time of possession, Air Force had the ball for about 5 more minutes than Notre Dame. The first half has really been all Air Force, Jim.
Well, that it has. Here comes Jerry Faust out. He's been under fire, at least as far as the fans are concerned. I don't think from any of the Notre Dame administration. They've been solidly behind Jerry. Very popular here among everyone who knows him. Came here after tremendous